So, the anti-air tank in Battlefield 6 is regarded as one of the most useless vehicles, right? However, if used correctly, you can actually effectively win a match using it. So let's get straight into it. We're going to go through the loadouts. The primary weapon you want as high velocity, and the reason why is because you get the most range with it, and also it shoots the fastest, and that's really good for taking out any air vehicle. You can take out jets with this as well. They've buffed the range on it, so there's no other choice really. Next, you want to go with the laser guided. Now I know what some people are going to say, why not lock guided or high velocity, right? The reason being is, when you pick lock guided or high velocity, you are essentially just flipping a coin, and any good pilot, or just even average pilot, with the basic of flare management, you're not going to do anything to them. You're not going to be touching them basically. You're left to just your guns. The laser guided though, if you get really good with that, or even just, like competent, just basic understanding of how the tow missile works, there is nothing any good pilot can do. Absolutely nothing. You will get them eventually because they can't hear the missile coming, so it's only a matter of time before you kill them. The next one is very obvious, just thermal smoke. I don't think I need to explain myself here. There's no reason to use emergency repair. And then finally, optimized handling is going to be the upgrade we're going for here. And the reason I choose this is it goes kind of hand in hand with the laser guided missile, and the idea is you want to be able to turn your turret faster. It's already so easy to aim with, but this just makes it that easier. If you're watching this further down the line, like a couple months from now, you may want to pick enhanced loading instead, because I suspect they are going to nerf the reload speed on the laser guided missile right now, because from my playtime right now, I have had zero need to visit a resupply station. They genuinely reload so quickly. Like, I haven't had to use a resupply once. Now that the loadout's out of the way, we're going to go on to some fundamentals. So the first most important fundamental is your positioning, and this is pretty much the most important one. If you get this wrong, you will probably die. And in the background footage here, you can see I'm playing on Gormwood Railway, right? This is the biggest map on Battlefield 6, and this is the best map to also demonstrate my point on. So you'll see here, it's the start of the match, right? And obviously this gives me an opportunity to get myself set up before the choppers and the jets start spawning. So I go and find myself a good vantage point so that I can see every air vehicle, and I instantly fire on them, right? And you're seeing here, right, I am pretty much essentially trying to kill the choppers before they can even enter the battlefield. So as soon as I don't kill the little bird, I am now scanning for anybody else that I can pick on, and I see the attack heli here. And yeah, I get a bit unlucky with the lamppost in the way, but it doesn't matter because the missiles reload very quickly. And essentially what I'm doing here is I've killed the chopper now. He's in that spin, the death spin I call it, and that's it, right? And now I've killed the two helicopters. That's two people that know where I'm at. So I'm scanning around now, and as soon as I've realised there's nothing else to kill, I move, right? There is no reason to stay in that position anymore. And the idea with this playstyle is you want to pop up from unknown locations, you want to strike the enemy hard and fast, and then get out of there before they have a chance to come back with a jeep or just another helicopter, honestly, and kill you. Your positioning is absolutely key to your team, right? If you're sat in your own base, you're contributing nothing. Yeah, sure, you're safe, right? But you are contributing nothing. And then on the other hand, if you stay in one spot the whole game, I guarantee it might not be that match specifically, right? Anything can happen, but eventually you keep doing that, you're going to wake up to 3 engineers behind you, teabagging you, and then when you finally spot them, you're done, dead. So where should you position yourself? The answer to this is a bit more complicated in practice, but generally speaking, you want somewhere that's high up, so you want somewhere that's elevated like a hill, you want somewhere with a good overview of the whole map, and you also want somewhere that's protected by your team. Now obviously, when I say this, in a match anything can happen, anything can change, and you want to be adaptable. And the only way to do that is to move. Like you'll see here, the spot I'm in, considering what I said earlier, it doesn't really match any of that. It's not high up, I don't really have a good view of the whole map. However, I'm close to the objective, very close. Any air vehicle that tries to enter the airspace here, like this transport chopper here, it's a death sentence for them, and they can't provide the support that their team would need. And that's the type of thinking you want to have, right? The closer you are to the objective, the less available that objective is for enemy air force. They can't get close to it, and if they can't get close to it, they can't support their team. Right, now with aiming, I just want to reiterate, the loadout I have picked here, it's a very high skill loadout, but it's also a high skill, high reward loadout. If you can master this, which if you've played previous Battlefield games, you can probably already do really good in this, okay? The tow missiles in Battlefield 6 notoriously easy to use compared to previous Battlefield games. So if you think, you know, if you think you're scared to use this because it's a tow missile, try it, because if you've played previous Battlefield games, you're going to be really good at this, because it only gets easier. So the first thing you want to do, and it ties back to my previous point, is if you can find a position that gives you a side profile of an enemy air vehicle, that is the dream shot. That is the best angle you can get, because there is so much of the air vehicle's surface area that's exposed. Now, using our brain here, the more surface area that's exposed, the less difficult it is for you to hit the shot. And that's what you want to aim for here. You also want to, I mean, you have to aim for this. It's not going to always happen, but you want to aim to shoot at something that doesn't see you coming. Because, like I said before, the missile makes pretty much near enough zero noise. And even if it does make noise, no pilot's going to be able to hear this because of all the other noise and background clutter that's going to be going on in the match. Now, when you're aiming, obviously aim in completely first person, right? That's where you want to guide the missile. However, only go into the first person camera right as you shoot, not a second sooner, because there's no reason to be in the first person camera unless you are trying to track a target, because otherwise you're an easy target. Every second you're in first person, you're an easy target for anybody, because your hearing goes down by a lot when you're in the first person camera. It's, I don't know, something I found, it's just a lot harder to hear a soldier sneaking up on you when you're in the first person camera. But also, third person view, just generally speaking, is the best for your awareness, and you should try and spend a lot of your time in third person wherever possible, because you are just infinitely more aware than you would be in first person. Now, moving on to jets, this is a lot harder to do. Generally speaking, do not shoot a tow missile at them until they're in a dive, because you're probably not going to hit them on the way out. They have to be heading towards you, and if they're heading away from you, not gonna lie, the chances are you're gonna miss unless they try and do any turning or maneuvering, because as far as I can tell, the jet is gonna be faster in every engagement here. And besides that, if you're shooting at jets far away from you, not only are your odds very unlikely of actually hitting them, but you're also spending way too much time in first person, and subsequently you are spending way too much time unaware of your surroundings. And now this is where it gets good, right? Because once you've killed all the choppers, what do you do then, right? You've got nothing to do. You've killed all the jets, they're all dead. What do you do, right? You've got nothing to do. You can go kill infantry, and most people don't understand how to do this, because most people don't understand how to aim with this. But it really is easier than it's made out to be. So I'm going to go into Portal here and just show you exactly what I mean. You can see this soldier here, this is my target, and he's very close to me, right? And watch what happens when I try and shoot him. You can see that every shot is missing, and some of you will have already caught on to as to why here, and it's simply because there are two guns here, and the crosshair that's designed in the game is designed for both of those guns together, and it's not designed to be used at that close of a range. So when you're shooting infantry at far range, honestly, most likely it won't matter. You can just keep it centered. But if you're trying to shoot them close up, the closer they are, the more you need to adjust for that. And generally speaking, my reference point here is when they are literally like right in front of you, 0 meters away, drag your crosshair all the way to the left, to the far left line, and you will hit every shot. And another thing, don't bother aiming for the head, because there is no headshot multiplier on this. There's no reason to aim for the head. Always aim center of the mass, because you're gonna increase your chances of hitting a shot. And then as you get further away, you obviously just adjust in accordance to how far away you're going, up to a certain point, because at a certain point, yeah, the bullets will converge, and you can just go back to aiming, for the center, using the center of the crosshair. And honestly, I suggest going into Portal. I'll put the experience code to this on screen. This is the best aim trainer. If you haven't already heard of it, it's made by Kokito, and it's by far the best. It should be integrated into the game natively, to be honest. But yeah, go into that Portal experience and try this yourself, because it's kind of hard to explain even through a YouTube video. Go into this Portal experience, aim it yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about. And once you see it yourself, you'll get a feel for it, and just practice in here for a bit, honestly, if you want to. And yeah, you'll eventually figure out how to kill infantry like nothing, basically, like you're farming infantry on Battlefield 4 again. Fun fact, you can also use the tow missiles to just wipe out snipers from across the map. And honestly, it's a lot. At a certain range, it is better to do this, because if you try and hit them with the bullets, you are essentially just flipping coins every time you try and shoot them, because the range significantly, you're basically playing a chance game with how wide the dispersion is on this gun. So yeah, just use the tow missile, honestly. And you know what, most of the time they will be standing still, especially if they're backline snipers. This final chapter of the video is basically just going to be covering anything that I didn't think deserved its own like dedicated chapter but should still be mentioned. Firstly, get out and use your repair tool. Honestly, not many people do this anymore and it's kind of wild to me. So say, for instance, a jet's shooting at you. He damages you. He leaves you at like 300, 400 health. As soon as he passes you, just get out, start repairing, because you can honestly most likely repair the damage done to your vehicle in time before he can actually fully come back and finish you off. Now obviously again, this depends on the skill of the jet pilot, but the more difficult you make it, the more likely you are to survive. Another thing, it's very possible to pilot snipe with the tow missile on this, so if you're feeling extra, ambitious, instead of aiming for just the vehicle itself, try and aim for where the pilot would be, and you might, catch a cheeky pilot snipe. Another thing, and this is something that's kind of been lost to history at this point, always spam the spot button. So many times have I been able to continue to track an enemy helicopter through essentially mountains and trees and all sorts where there's no actual physical line of sight because of the 3D spotting in this game. So always press the spot button. Generally, as soon as I see the target, I'll spot them and then head straight to shooting at them, if they aren't already spotted, of course. And then to wrap this up, just know your enemy. You don't necessarily need to learn how to fly the jets or how to fly the choppers to begin with. I know how to do both of those, and I must say it definitely does help me when I'm trying to kill them, because I know exactly what they're going to do next. Now I plan on making guides for the air vehicles, so if you want to know more about that, consider subscribing and turning notifications on so that you don't miss it. But to summarize, just knowing what they're going to do next helps a lot. Like I said, you don't need to know how to get a bunch of kills in the air vehicles. Just figure out like the basics and at least learn their mentality, because that helps you so much when trying to kill one. And I think that's going to be it. If there's anything I've missed or anything you'd like to add, please write down in the comments. But otherwise, this has been a relatively quick guide. I would like to keep these shorter, but if you for some reason think you wanted a more in-depth guide, let me know. I mean, I'll consider it. I might make one super guide just for all of the vehicles in general, rather than go into like a 50-minute video just for this thing. I mean, like I said, most people already can't use it to begin with anyway, so I think getting a basic understanding of how to use it is already good. So yeah, if you want to know more about that, consider subscribing, and I think I'll see you all in the next video.